What's going on, guys? It's Necro Ninja here, and today I have my own very personal well-locked build for you guys. I get asked a lot, Necro, what is your build like? How do you build into endgame? And I'm going to show you today. This is how I build into endgame content, GMs, master raids, everything with my well-lock. So if you guys are enjoying the content, if you guys like this video, make sure you hit that like and subscribe down below. Your support is very appreciative and it helps me make videos like this, and I love you guys, I really do. All right, so let's get into the build. All right, we're going to be starting off with our subclass. Of course, we are running Well of Radiance. Why the hell not? I like to have a Healing Rift on. That's my favorite. Balance Glide. You could use whatever glide you guys like. I use the Celestial Fire. I prefer that over the Snap. And then I use the Fusion Grenade because it's my favorite grenade. It's pretty much just that. Over on aspects, I like to run Touch of Flame to give my Fusion Grenade an extra explosion. And then I also run Icarus Dash because I love the shit out of Icarus Dash. Now, coming down to our fragments, I am running Ember of Char. Your Solar Ignition spreads Scorch to affected targets. I'm basically just running this for the +10 discipline. Over here, I am running Ember of Searing. Defeating Scorch targets grants melee energy and creates a fire sprite. Again, I am just kind of running this for the +10 recovery. Then I have Ember of Singeing. Your class ability recharges faster when you Scorch targets. I'm going to be kind of scorching a lot of things with the Fusion Grenade and the Celestial Fire. Then last but not least, I am running Ember of Resolve. Your Solar Grenade final blows cure you. So every time I kill something with my Solar Grenade, my Fusion Grenade actually, I will be getting cure. Now for exotics, obviously we are totally running Phoenix Protocol. This bad boy is insane. Kills and assists that you make while standing inside your Well of Radiance returns super energy. This is very big on snowballing. Once you have your well, you're just going to keep getting your well. Just popping your well and standing inside of it and killing things, you will almost guarantee yourself, as long as there are enough ads, that you are going to get at least 50% of your super back. This will get you a guaranteed 50% back if there's ads around. Now over to mods. On the helmet, I am running one dynamo. I'm also running a heavy ammo finder, but if you guys can live without the heavy ammo finder, I would highly suggest running maybe a second dynamo, or if you're feeling frisky, to run like ashes to assets, or if you're more of a melee build on this build, hands-on. For the gauntlets, I am running, of course, triple bolstering detonation. These are my favorite. I love these things so much. Grants class ability energy when you cause damage with a grenade, and I'm going to be tossing a lot of grenades. Let's face it. On our chest piece, you would want to run any kind of resistance depending on the activity that you're running. So make sure you double check to see which what's happening inside. If there's a lot of snipers, there's a lot of melee units, if you want to run arc resistance, if there are a lot of things that are doing AoE damage, make sure you run concussive dampener. Just make sure you are prepared for the end game activity that you are going into. Onto the boots, I am running Invigoration and ×2 insulation. So Invigoration reduces the cooldown for your grenade each time you pick up an orb of power. When you drop a well, you're gonna poop out some orbs. Pick them up and get your cooldown. This works really well when you are chaining wells with somebody else. So if there's another well lock on your team, they drop a well, you pick up this, you reduce your cooldown for your grenade, check a grenade, all that stuff. It's great. Insulation is the other one around. Reduces a class ability cooldown each time you pick up an orb of power. So when you pick up one orb of power, you are reducing your grenade cooldown and your class ability cooldown. Now the reason I'm running two of these is because I'm also running a Reaper. So the more, not the Reaper, Dynamo, sorry. Because I'm running a Dynamo on the helmet. The more that I drop my Rift near enemies, the faster my super is going to recharge. And last but not least, over here on the class item, I am running Double Bomber to go with my Bolstering Detonation. These reduces grenades cooldown every time I use my class ability. It's a nice little combo. Bolstering Detonation will give you class ability, and then Bomber will give you grenade energy. I'm also running a Reaper. Shortly after using my class ability, my next weapon, Final Blow, will spawn in Orb of Power. More Orb of Power, faster super. The goal here is obviously just to get your well as fast as possible. Taking a look at my stats here, I have triple hundreds. If it is not possible for you guys to get triple hundreds, it is okay. I highly recommend getting 100 in your recovery and your discipline for the grenade ability combo. But you know, then your third is get resilience if you can. For the artifact, there are a few things that work with solar supers and solar subclasses. Revitalizing Blast will help you weaken champions and bosses when you chuck a grenade at them. That'll weaken them. Wished into Being, while your super is nearly fully charged, ability Final Blows will cause a orb of power to spawn. Heart of Flame, when you're casting a solar super nearby allies are going to get radiant and increases the damage of your super for each nearby ally. Again, you're just in a well, so you're not really increasing damage too much. I don't believe it actually affects your weapon damage. I could be wrong. We'll have to double check that. And of course, I have Torch on. While radiant, you deal increased weapon damage to combatants that are affected by strand and stasis. If your teammates are using strand and stasis, I highly recommend having Torch on, because if they freeze something or suspend something or put unraveling rounds on something, you're doing more damage while standing inside the well because you are radiant. For weaponry, if the activity allows for it, I would highly recommend running something that is going to help you scorch and ignite things to help bolster your class ability cooldown. My favorite is also running just Callous Mini Tool if the activity allows for it. A lot of these activities are not submachine gun friendly, unfortunately, but that is okay. If you can make it work, make it work. Otherwise, just pay attention to what the surges are and, you know, run what you feel comfortable running. All right, so when it comes to actually running this build in like a GM or a master raid, it is actually very, very simple. It is a super snowball effect. Once you have your well and you use it while you're surrounded by a bunch of enemies, which there should be plenty of enemies in endgame content. GMs and master raids have plenty of enemies for you to do this with. You drop your well, you're surrounded by enemies, and then you start taking them out. You are guaranteed, if there are enough enemies, you are guaranteed to get 50% of your super back just from having Phoenix Protocol on. From that point, all you have to do is worry about the other 50% of your super bar, which is not that hard since we are running things like Dynamo and Ashes to Assets, or if you're running Bolstering Detonation along with the Inveneration and Insulation, stuff like that. Your ability Final Blows are going to be what gives you your super back. Dropping your Rift, and don't be afraid. I know people are going to be like, oh, well, you know, I have a well down, why would I drop a Rift? Do not be afraid to put a Rift down inside of your well. One, not only is that going to give you overshield, because believe it or not, sometimes dropping a well is not enough. There are plenty of ads that can outkill you inside of a well if there are a number of them. So putting down a Rift will also give you an overshield, will give you extra bit of safety inside the well. But if you're surrounded by enemies while you drop that Rift down, Dynamo's going to activate and you're going to get a little bit of super back. So every time you get that Rift, just make sure you are putting it down. And honestly, just getting that extra just getting that last 50% of your super back is not hard at all. Especially if there is another well lock on the team. You guys can chain wells back and forth, left and right. It's not even funny. They drop a well, they poop out 3 orbs. You pick those up, you drop a well, you poop out 3 orbs, they pick those up. Just running back-to-back wells like this, you're always going to have a well. You're always going to be kind of in that safety zone. I mean, having a well nowadays feels like you're immortal, and it's kind of unfair, but you know, it is what it is, and this is how it is. So as long as you're standing inside that well and you're doing damage to stuff, your super is growing just from the damage that you're doing, the final blows that you're getting, the dropping the rift, the grenade kills, everything. It all snowballs. So well, that's it for me, guys. If you enjoyed the video, please make sure you hit that like button down below, and please go ahead, leave a comment down below on what kind of improvements you would make to this, because this is my personal build. This is what I use for pretty much everything. So if you see something that you feel like, hey, you know, we could change, like maybe going with a maybe going with a grenade kickstart package with armor charge. You know, we can go down that route. But if you guys have suggestions or anything, let me know down below. I love you guys. I will see you in the next video. Have a great day. Toodles!